OnePlus has been a disruptor in the smartphone market right from the OnePlus One. The company has launched powerful smartphones with top-of-the-line hardware for affordable prices. We already tested out the OnePlus 7 Pro and were impressed with the firepower it offers. The OnePlus 7 has the same core hardware but is rather aggressively priced at 32,999 rupees. Now, is this the best mid-range smartphone you can buy in 2019? Or is it worth spending that extra money for the OnePlus 7 Pro? Well, we test the OnePlus 7 to find out. Now, before we go ahead with the OnePlus 7 review, be sure to subscribe to the Gadgets 360 YouTube channel and please click the bell icon so that you're the first to know when we have a new video. While the OnePlus 7 Pro gets a pop-up selfie camera, the OnePlus 7 retains the same design as the 6T. We got the red color variant for review and found it to be a little bit flashy for our liking. We would prefer the mirror grey color over this one. While it is a little disappointing that the design is unchanged, retaining the old 6T design could be one of the factors that helped OnePlus price the new phone aggressively. The OnePlus 7 has a glass sandwich design with a metal frame. This frame is rounded, which makes it comfortable to hold this phone in the hand. Unlike the OnePlus 7 Pro, the 7 does not have a curved display. Instead, it has a 6.41-inch Optic AMOLED display that puts out Full HD Plus resolution. And it has an in-display fingerprint scanner. This fingerprint scanner is a similar implementation as the OnePlus 6T and uses a CMOS sensor under the display. Talking about the display, it has good color reproduction and gets bright enough when outdoors. You can change the display settings from natural to vivid or choose between NTSC, sRGB and DCI-P3 color gamuts. An option to tweak the color balance is also available. However, it doesn't offer the 90Hz refresh rate nor the Quad HD Plus resolution that the OnePlus 7 Pro boasts of. There are thin bezels around the display, while the chin is noticeably bigger. It has a water drop notch at the top, which houses the selfie camera. The earpiece sits between the display and the metal frame and is considerably longer. Button placement is identical as on the OnePlus 6T, with a power button and alert slider on the right, while the volume buttons are on the left. All buttons offer good clicky feedback. The 3-position alert slider is slightly smaller than before, but has a knurled texture that makes it easy to distinguish. It is also a handy way to change audio profiles quickly. A secondary microphone is at the top of the device. Just like the OnePlus 6T, this too misses out on a 3.5mm headphone jack, and surprisingly, OnePlus does not include a USB Type-C to 3.5mm dongle in the box. Now, this would be an inconvenience to buyers, and OnePlus should have included one in the box. The OnePlus 7 has Corning Gorilla Glass on the front and back for protection. It has a glossy finish, and our review unit did slide about sometimes. On the rear, there's a dual camera module that is positioned in the center along with the dual LED flash. This camera module protrudes quite a bit, causing the phone to rock about when placed on a flat surface. The back does not pick up smudges that easily, but you can still use the bundled case to keep the device safe. Just like every other OnePlus flagship till date, this too boasts of a top-of-the-line processor. It is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 SoC, which is said to be a significant improvement over the outgoing Snapdragon 845. The OnePlus 7 is available in two variants: 6GB RAM with 128GB storage and 8GB RAM with 256GB storage. Now, this isn't the regular UFS 2.1 storage like most other smartphones. It gets the super fast UFS 3.0 storage similar to the OnePlus 7 Pro. So far, the OnePlus 7 Twins are the only phones to launch with this new storage standard in India. The OnePlus 7 ships with Oxygen OS 9.5 on top of Android 9 Pie. Our unit was running the March security patch but was updated later to the April security patch. Most of the features are carried forward from the OnePlus 6T, while a few new features are introduced in the OnePlus 7. It has the gaming mode, which was available on the 6T. Fanatic mode was added in an update after we received the OnePlus 7 for review. And OnePlus has gone a step further and added a Zen mode. What this mode does is that it completely disables all the functions of the smartphone except the ability to make and receive emergency calls. Once enabled, there is no way to switch that off for next 20 minutes. And well, that's one way of disconnecting from your digital life. We have covered some of the other features like quick launch, RAM boost and a few other in our OnePlus 7 Pro review. The first thing we noticed about the OnePlus 7 is that it wasn't as heavy as the OnePlus 7 Pro in the hand. Also, it wasn't very slippery, so we weren't worried about dropping the smartphone while using it. The OnePlus 7 also delivers snappy performance, and no action we performed slowed the Snapdragon 855 down. Given the fact that our unit had 8GB of RAM, we could multitask easily with apps running in the background. We found the in-display fingerprint scanner to be faster than the one on the OnePlus 6T, helping the 7 to scan and unlock faster. Face unlock is also present, but its efficiency depends on ambient light conditions. This too is quick to unlock the smartphone by merely looking in its direction. We were happy with the AMOLED panel on the 7, but the stereo speakers help improve the overall experience. These can get loud and are close to the output that the Pixel 3 devices offer. Watching videos and playing games is a far better experience thanks to these stereo speakers. Yes, there's Dolby Atmos support as well that lets you choose between different audio profiles. Thanks to the powerful processor, the OnePlus 7 can play pretty much any game you load up on it. We played PUBG Mobile, Brawl Stars and Asphalt 9 Legends. PUBG Mobile ran smoothly at the highest settings without any hint of lag. We played PUBG Mobile for close to 30 minutes and noticed that the phone did get slightly warm to the touch, but it wasn't uncomfortable at any point. The battery capacity of the OnePlus 7 is unchanged compared to the 6T and stands at 3700 mAh. OnePlus has bundled the same 20W charger in the box but has dropped the Dash Charge branding. In our HD video loop test, the phone managed to go on for 15 hours and 16 minutes. With our usage, which consisted of an active WhatsApp account, running a couple of benchmarks, clicking camera samples, and playing games, the phone managed to still have 30% charge left at the end of 24 hours. OnePlus has opted for a dual camera setup on the 7 compared to the triple camera setup that it offers on the 7 Pro. It gets a 48MP Sony IMX586 primary sensor with an f1.7 aperture, face detection autofocus, and optical image stabilization. The secondary sensor is a 5MP depth sensor with an f2.4 aperture which kicks into action in portrait mode. When clicking at the default photos mode, the camera oversamples the 48MP resolution to return a 12MP picture. You can click photos at native resolution using the Pro mode on the camera. In daylight, the OnePlus 7 captured decent details, but the colors look slightly muted. Objects at a distance had decent detail and the text was legible. Unlike the OnePlus 7 Pro, the OnePlus 7 lacks laser autofocus, but it still managed to lock focus and exposure quickly. If the lighting is harsh, the phone enables HDR automatically. When clicking macro shots during the day, the phone was quick to focus. Photos had decent details, but colors weren't accurate. When photographing flowers, we noticed that the smartphone boosted colors, causing them to look artificial. This also resulted in a slight loss in detail. In low light, the phone would take slightly longer to lock focus. We felt that we needed to take a second shot in some cases. In portrait mode, the edge detection was acceptable, but our subjects weren't always sharp. Landscape shots taken in low light had little noise and good details. Switching to the nightscape mode helped in getting a brighter image overall. Noise was handled well in night shots, but you can easily spot grain on zooming in. Selfies were decent but lacked the level of detail we were expecting. In low light, selfies taken with the screen flash had a lot of artifacting. Video recording maxes out at 4K 60fps for the primary sensor. There is a 5-minute recording limit when shooting at this resolution and a 10-minute limit when shooting at 4K 30fps. However, recording at 4K resulted in oversaturated colors. When recording footage at 1080p, we found that it was very well stabilized. Footage recorded at 1080p in low light had a shimmer effect which was clearly noticeable. While the OnePlus 7 Pro was spec'd to take on current gen flagships, the OnePlus 7 is designed to help the company retain its position in the low-cost flagship space. What we like about the OnePlus 7 apart from its aggressive price is its hardware. The AMOLED display is quite good, and when used in conjunction with the phone's stereo speakers, it does offer a good media experience. The Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 processor is powerful enough to take on anything you throw its way. That plus 6GB or 8GB of RAM and the super fast UFS 3.0 storage makes the OnePlus 7 very snappy. Oxygen OS is also great, and it has plenty of handy features and customization options. The battery life on the OnePlus was another highlight, as the phone could last a day while delivering top-of-the-line performance. Cameras is where the OnePlus 7 still needs some work, which is stopping it from becoming an all-rounder. Since the OnePlus 7 is one of the few devices with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 in the market, it is easier to recommend. So if you don't really care about camera performance, the OnePlus 7 does offer a lot of value for the price. But with launches like the Zenfone 6 and the Redmi K20 Pro lined up, you may want to wait for these upcoming devices to see what they have on offer. And that was our review of the OnePlus 7. What do you guys think about this smartphone? Let us know in the comment section below. And as always, for all things tech, stay tuned to Gadgets360.com.